This is, allegedly, the smallest and the lightest zoom lens in the world. Lumix 18 to 40mm f4.5 to f6.3 is a new kit lens. A lens that was meant to come out together with S9. It is a perfect match for S9, but it was late to the party. Now you can buy it bundled with the S9 or separately. In this video, I'll tell you why you should be getting it in a kit together with a camera, what it is good for and how it performs. So keep watching to find out more about this lens. I have this lens on loan from Lumix UK, but as always, I was not paid or asked to say anything specific about it, and everything you hear and see in this video is my own and totally unbiased opinion about this lens. Kit lenses in general have bad reputation. Kit lens is usually a lens that is bundled with a beginner-friendly camera and usually a very basic lens that most people get only because it comes with a camera. Lumix, in my opinion, have changed that with their superb 20 to 60mm, a lens that is my number one choice when I have to travel light and I need small and versatile zoom with me. Then S9 came out and you got a lot of backlash that it's a small camera, but there is no small Lumix lenses to go with it, none apart from the manual focus 26mm f8 at the time. Finally, they have released this, a perfect match for S9 and S5 lineup when you do need a lens that is as compact as a lens can be, but also a lens that is capable of really good results. This 18 to 40mm is following in the footsteps of their first kit lens 20 to 60. This is a focal length that is unique as there is no other 18 to 40mm on the market from any brand, and it is a focal length that gives a lot of versatility. 18mm is ultra wide field of view, great for anything from architecture to landscape, and 40mm puts it in the standard lens focal length category, good for close-ups for example, or even portraits. At 40mm it will also create more natural looking images without that distortion often associated with wide angle lenses. Quality wise, it is a very sharp lens, standard Lumix here. Just like 20 to 60, this is not your standard low quality kit lens, much better. The small minimum aperture of f4.5 at wide end and changeable to f6.3 when you zoom in might seem, on paper at least, very limiting. You won't get any crazy subject to background separation with it, a little when you zoom in and get close to your subject, but pairing it with S9 or an S5 lineup of cameras, you also get a very good in-camera stabilization and superb low noise, high ISO performance. This will hugely compensate for the lack of wide aperture in lower lighting conditions. I had no problem shooting with it at night handheld. It was still totally usable. In real world situations, I found it always too wide or not close enough, even though I love ultra wide angle lenses. I didn't want to limit it to any specific situation and treat it as a one lens for everything, everyday lens when traveling with it, but I always wished it had just a tiny bit more of that zoom. At wide end it is great, you get standard 18mm ultra wide look with some bulging as expected. The zoom gives you some reach, but you also need more light every time you zoom in as the aperture closes down when you zoom in. All I can say is that I love it and sometimes hate it at the same time. I guess this is something you get used to over time using any lens. You get used to the focal length of the zoom and start seeing or feeling what you can or can't capture before even looking through the lens and the camera. Overall, this is way more than just one trick pony, but it is somehow, to me, missing that something special that I get with 20 to 60mm, but it is a very small, very portable lens, and that could be a game changer for a lot of people. The best thing about it, shooting with S9, I didn't feel I attract any attention to myself when doing street photography, which is a big thing. I didn't also feel like a chore taking it out with me or carrying it on camera all day long. Its size makes it very special. Focal length, it takes some getting used to, in my opinion. Video, if you forget about the bigger Lumix cameras for a second and put this lens solely on S9 and what S9 is meant for and who it is meant for, this is a perfect vlogger or content creator lens. Apart from the size, this exactly wide angle to standard focal range is ideal for pretty much all video filming, video needs. We are not talking about cinematic looking video masterpieces, although doable, but about everyday stuff like filming yourself in vertical horizontal aspect ratio, capturing the b-roll, wide angle and close-ups, and a lens when paired with S9 that is very portable. Autofocus works very well as expected, quite a bit of focus breathing visible, especially at wide end, but considering who and what this lens is for, this is not a problem on this occasion at all. Really good lens for gimbal use, 18mm, great for enhancing the sense of motion and getting a lot in the frame, and the rest of the zoom for capturing the details, for example. Build, there's no way to hide the fact that this is a very small lens. As soon as you turn the camera on, with it on, it asks you to rotate zoom ring to extend the lens. You have to turn it from the lock position and extend the lens for it to work. This unfortunately instantly makes it longer and kind of bigger. Zooming in from 18 to 40mm doesn't extend the lens further though. In fact, it goes back a bit halfway through the zoom range. The lens is sealed against light water splashes and dust. 62mm filter thread, not standard Lumix 67. Shame, but it is a smaller lens than all other Lumix lenses, and it only needs one step down ring to adapt your standard 67mm filters to it. The weight, feather light, 155 grams. This is light for any lens. Even though it is this light and almost entirely made out of plastic, it does not feel cheap or inferior. Only one switch on the lens, there's no room for anymore. The standard auto manual focus switch. Both focus and zoom rings are very well dampened, no slack there at all. Way above average for a kit lens for sure. It's a good looking lens until you unlock it, but that's how it has to be to keep the overall size and weight of it down. Price, value for money. The best way to buy this lens is with a camera. Right now it comes only bundled with S9 as a kit. This way you only pay slightly more for the camera, but you also get a decent lens to get you going straight out of the box. On its own, it is hugely overpriced, around £500 or $500. Yes, it is a decent small zoom, but it should cost no more than £300 or dollars on its own to make it great value for money, in my opinion. It is still a very new lens, but I guess you will be able to get one on a second-hand market for a good price soon, as a lot of people will be simply getting rid of those bought with cameras when they upgrade to more expensive lenses. Conclusion, overall I don't think it is as versatile or good quality lens as the Lumix 20 to 60mm, but it is small, very light, and a perfect match for S9. This zoom range gives you ultra wide angle and standard field of view in one package. Ideal lens for traveling with, especially with S9, but it will work great with S5, S5 II or S5 IIX2. A lens perfect for content creator, vlogger who just wants simplicity and hassle-free good quality performance. This is exactly that. It's not a fast lens. The minimum changeable aperture of f4.5 to f6.3 might be a problem, but only theoretically. All full-frame Lumix cameras have excellent image stabilization built in and insanely good high ISO performance. Very low noise, especially at ISO 4000, but at higher settings too. This allows you to compensate for the smaller aperture and allows you to shoot with it even at night handheld. If you are thinking of buying S9, this is a perfect everyday lens for it. Get it in a kit to save money, otherwise, unless you really must have it, look for a second-hand one. That's what I'll be doing, as I like to have my S9 with me when I travel. It takes less room in the bag, and combined with this lens would give me everything I need to film myself with and B-roll while on location. Nice little zoom and a must-have for S9 users. For anyone else, 20 to 60mm might be a better option overall. And this is it from me. I hope this video was in some way helpful or informative. If it was, please give me that thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you are not already doing so. Check out my Lightroom presets, link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.